Hey guys, grow the farm up. We're out doing some conventional detasseling in the Hagie 204. You do not see a lot of detasseling videos on the internet because most of these guys that are contracting for the big three aren't allowed to film anything. So we're independent. So I like to get some detasseling videos every year because I'm free to film and post whatever I like. This is some pretty good looking corn, a pretty good looking field of seed corn. We've got some male pollen coming out, some male tassels coming out. We're a couple days from silt. If you look back at the channel, I've got some videos that really go into depth about the hybridization process. You can see there's a male tassel out, there's a male tassel out, and we're in the middle of, basically we're a day or two away from starting about a 6-7 day process. A little pressed for time today, trying to get as much cut as I can with some weather coming in. See, here's the isolation, and you have these isolation rows to protect the boundary from any foreign pollen. There is some corn over there because purity is oh so very important when it comes to seed quality. But we stick with the conventional detasseling, and you don't see a lot of these videos on YouTube anymore for a couple reasons. One, a lot of the big companies have gone to spraying Roundup on their seed corn and sterilizing the female. It's called the RHS system. I have experimented with it, and we stick with conventional detasseling for a reason. It has a lot to do with seed quality. When you spray Roundup on an inbred to sterilize the tassel, the effects are catastrophic. I guess I would put it this way. If I was a farmer, right? If I was a farmer, I would check and see if the seed that I was planting, if it was corn seed, if it was RHS grown, which means it was sprayed sterile and not conventionally detasseled. And if you can get that answer out of the seed company, good for you. You'd be one of the first. But if you can get that information and find out that it was RHS produced, I would increase your population about 10%. I mean, first I would return the seed and try to go get some stuff that was not Roundup sprayed sterile. But you know what? I'm not gonna knock the RHS system. Nobody wants to walk the rows in the tassel anymore. Nobody wants to come out here and do the work anymore. I get it. It's a pain. These big mega corporations are more concerned about liability than they are about quality of product. It's sad but true statement. We live in a very litigious society, so I totally get it. They're willing to take the hit in yield and in seed quality and just make it up with suggesting higher populations, and it just is what it is. But we stick with conventional detasseling, so this is going to be one of the only channels where you get to watch some of the old school conventional detasseling. And just one thing I will mention, you guys notice, check it out, the male rows are much darker green than the female. If you guys ever do get into growing your own open pollinated varieties and start wanting to cross them, anybody out there watching this channel, a lot of people that think that way watch this channel. Just understand that inbreds will throw a lot of different colors and things at you. That does not necessarily mean that there's deficiencies of different things like phosphorus or potassium or calcium. Inbreds will just throw different colors at you. They'll throw reds and purples and greens and different colors at the brace roots. Doesn't really mean much about fertility. We have pretty balanced soil fertility, good biology, and these inbreds are all different kind of color at me. And I really have found that it just is inbred specific. I mean, just look, that male is twice as dark green as this female. Why? Just simple genetics. That's why. Does this variety get its nice dark green color from its male? Perhaps. It certainly gets its fantastic standability from the female. Look at that nice big bushy plant. And this inbred just happens to be one that sheds in boot, which means that there is a female tassel in there, and you're about a day and a from silk, and you've got male tassels out. So there are tassels in these plants. You just really can't see them. You just kind of have to know. Just little idiosyncrasies of conventional detasseling. Is it becoming a lost art? I don't see a lot of the big companies doing it anymore. I see them running with true sterile seed, which is scary. I mean, true sterile inbreds you're supposed to mix them with fertile inbreds, because they generally only have about a 90-92 germ. And here we're coming up on what we call a hot spot. Those places of your field where the tassels pop out a day or two ahead of everything else. You're a farmer, you know what I'm talking about. I had to cut this yesterday early because there was, you can see there's a little more male out here, because there's a few silks actually out over here. So you got to go cut those areas early. Here's some more isolation, and you can see we're putting out good, we're going to be putting out good pollen in a day and a half, and we're going to be protected against that seed, against that commercial cornfield, which is of a different color, and it's about done pollinating. So we've used time isolation, and we've also used this nice gigantic 270-foot soybean setback. Waste a field sometimes, but those beans don't look too bad. We'll harvest them. The combine will harvest them, same as any other bean. It's kind of a pain to farm, but with seed corn, and especially with conventional detasseling methods, which in my estimation, this is as close to natural breeding as we have left in the seed industry. So if you're interested in how the seed is grown, that is the seed that is then planted to grow your food supply and the feed for livestock, and the basis for all of the different byproducts, the corn and the soybean and the wheat, mega conglomerate production facilities that crank out all of our food products. If you're interested in to know how the seed is grown and why companies have turned away from conventional detasseling, and why maybe we as farmers should be a little bit concerned about that and do a little more looking into it, is spraying Roundup on your seed to sterilize the tassel, leading to a higher quality seed. I haven't seen any evidence that states that, and in fact I've just seen lower test rates and lower cold germs and lower yields. So stay tuned. We'll hop out of this cab when we're a little less pressed for time, and it's a little easier to explain the hybridization process once you're a few days into it. As I said, we're about a day and a half away from kicking things off here on this field. About 3 or 4 days from now, we'll have a couple more detasseling passes on it. This one's just right for a roller to come in with this shedding in boot female tassel. So we'll try to get a roller in here probably tomorrow afternoon. And we do also, we are hooking up the spreader. So we're going to be spreading some cover crops into this seed corn. And we unfortunately had a couple fields of soybeans go down mowed down to zero, look like they've been harvested. So I'm going to drill some cover crop seed on those fields. So stay tuned. We'll cover a little bit more about the art form and the lost art that is conventional detasseling. You know, what is corn hybridization? What is plant hybridization? And why do we do it? Why don't we just grow or regrow our own inbreds every year? Oh, there's a very large reason why we don't. You know, we'll get into that and explain that. So stay tuned. Yeah, I'm going to get back to work. Grow the farm up.